Hey again. Um, so yeah, I was just feeling guided to put coconut oil on this wound that I had on my finger, and I tried it out. I was with um, a friend, and his mom is a physician, and is like, "Are you serious? Like, don't do that, or that might not be a good idea." Okay, well, finally, you can try it, but if this thing is infected by the next day, no way. We have to give you antibiotics. I almost needed stitches, but I just used several like butterfly bandages to kind of hold the fingertip to the rest of the finger. But it was just amazing. Like in a few weeks, this thing was gone. He's completely healed. I've gotten my nail back. There's they're not well trimmed, but that's me. And um, there's like not even a scar from where this thing was. And so this was obviously, it's a synergistic, like symbiotic process of healing, wherein um, the coconut oil and my physical body and my belief, like, okay, I'll try this can work, to help. And this, I also was guided to several mantras, uh, which enlist the use of specific frequencies of sound to aid in healing of the physical body, and much more. The entire living self, living expression of life, right? But um, I was completely flabbergasted by this. Like, wow, this is the best healing I've ever seen any woman that I've ever had, do. At least in that context. And this is just one example, but I'm trying to communicate some of the cool stuff, at least in my perception, that's happening. Like, whoa, just listen to some of this stuff. And I also burned. It's interesting. When this happened, I was in my mind like, I need to photograph this. I need to photograph this event, and I didn't. Um, I sometimes have an issue, I think, of not following through completely with the messages that I'm given, and I need to work on that. I'd like to express myself more fully. Um, and but yes, so there's another time that I burnt my ankle pretty badly, and this is all within the last few months, and same thing. Like, you should photograph this, and I didn't. Um, I still have now just a slight place where it's still healing, and I'll probably put some photos of that up eventually. But I was guided to go through the exact same process with this. I was a little bit less attentive with this ankle than I was with my finger. I think because somehow in my mind I did not perceive it to be such a big deal as I did my finger. So I did not put as much focus and intention towards that injury, and it's taking longer to heal. I've observed this, but I did. I had sessions where I attempted to essentially follow some of this concept that is involved with Reiki and other um, light, love, source, healing, channeling practices. And I was guided to just like try this out on my ankle. So I kind of sat, was quiet, and you know, got in kind of a meditative stance and placed hands on the place and watched the wound begin to heal in front of my eyes. Like, just sitting there, I don't know, maybe an hour or something, and just inflammation disappearing, like with intent and focus and visualization of healing, this burn healing and skin beginning to close. And all of this has been extremely overwhelming. Like, oh my gosh, what is happening? Last example is, there's a little boy that lives in the apartment that I stay in, and this is a whole other set of stories. This little boy is very amazing, um, but he's often very sick. Another set of stories. But he was dealing with pneumonia, but I didn't find this out till later. Essentially, I was in my room doing my thing, studying, trying to organize my life, and um, and I heard him coughing really violently for like half of one afternoon. He sometimes coughs. I'm like, this is normal. I'm sorry that he's coughing, but he's sick. But it really was getting bad, and I found myself with and this was something that I found interesting. I was hearing him cough, and it was almost like I was angry inside of myself that he was coughing somehow, not at him, but somehow it was eliciting a response within me emotionally. Like, this is the best way I can describe it anyway. Like, oh gosh, like, why is he coughing? This needs to stop. And I went into the restroom and walked out, and his mom met me outside of it, and I was like, hey, what's going on with, the little boy? And I look in the room, and he's like on a respirator type of thing. It's a respirator for medication. And he's just coughing, and she's like, oh, well, he has pneumonia. I'm like, oh my gosh, poor little guy. And she's describing that he was going to need to possibly go to the hospital and be treated by antibiotics, but for now she was giving him a little bit of, like, it's a natural form of cough syrup, essentially, that she was giving him this and this respirator type of medication. He's just coughing and coughing and coughing. And she asks me, and I don't talk to her about any of this. She asks me, do you practice Reiki? And I'm like, whoa. And I'm like, no, like, I'm not attuned to do this. I've been looking into it, but, and I just, again, download. It's like, just give him a hug. I'm like, I can give him a hug. That's all that I can do, and the little boy, was kind of hesitant, but finally he came, and I just gave him like the biggest hug, like in as much intention as I guess that I could at that time, and he stopped coughing. It's like, so there's obviously a collective of things that were active in that situation, but I was really moved by what happened, like, and feeling that I'd contributed positively to his healing. And it's, for me, this is not like, oh wow, look what power whatever people can access or something. I believe it's kind of accessible to everyone. And this Deepak Chopra book I'm reading also, this is much after the fact at this point, but on quantum healing, I'm only a bit into the thing. I'm finding more and more that I'm just trying, I work best with intuitive information and not as much, with the things that I might read about the process, but it seems just so obvious and simple and apparently effective. And yeah, these videos, I guess, are kind of a reminder to myself also, and like, as I'm saying, this is kind of an affirmation and setting of intent for me to explore this realm further, the concepts of quantum physics, the concepts of channeling life force, like healing force, through our physical bodies, to help heal self and others, like, and also, yeah, just to kind of get information from anyone else out there who's exploring these topics. And yeah, I'm sending you guys a lot of love. Naturally, part of me is like, I feel like I sound like a psycho, and I'm not trying to, I'm simply trying to communicate. So I need to not really care, and not in a I don't care way, but I'm interested in receiving feedback, whatever it may be, positive or negative, because I believe that I'm supposed to learn through this experience. And so if you feel like sharing with me, I'm here and I want to listen and exchange. So I love you very, very much. Thank you for watching these videos, and I hope that they're somehow useful to you. Thank you, and I love you. Bye.